Lowland TV and the network system. We're doing our Thursday evening co-hosted weekly broadcast, and it is a call-in show. You'll see our number, 504-383-3654 on the screen the whole time. As you know, we have our good friend, co-host, Derek Russ. You'll be joining us in a little bit. And starting last week until the Thursday before Mardi Gras, which is March 1st, we will be dedicating our shows to various aspects of Mardi Gras. Tonight's episode will be solely focused on one carnival crew by the name of King Arthur. We're going to tell you details about it once we start the show. I just wanted to let you know. Remember, you can watch us on the YouTube channel, R-Revue. You can watch us on Facebook for Bob Doppelman, Facebook for NOT, the New Orleans Television Internet, the New Deal, Derek Russ, Facebook, so any of you follow it, and LinkedIn, R-Revue, and Twitter, Doppelman. Okay? And remember, you can make any comments on those platforms. And what I want you to do, of course, is, as I said, make a call to us tonight. We want to make sure our systems are working. We don't get a lot of people that want to call anymore.
So we understand that, but we would like to certainly have people call us at 504-383-3654. And you can tell us, you can ask any question and go from there. We would love to hear from you, especially during the night. We've still got a little bit more minutes left. I can't even see it on the clock this evening. We appreciate you coming to us. We hope you're going to enjoy the show. For anyone who's never seen a Mardi Gras ball, this will be a pretty in-depth situation so you get a pretty good idea. Now, the only difference between this and most is what we call the super crews. There's 3 big crews and a few others that do basically a reception dinner during the pageant. And we have that too. But anyway, it's more of an all-night party. This is a little bit more formalized. You'll see it in what we call a tableau. And we will explain all that once we actually start. Again, we will start. It's going to be in 3 segments. The first segment will be a 12-minute video of the ball, and not the complete ball because we've edited it down from 40-something minutes. And this is 40 minutes, these are mainly the presentation of each of the dignitaries, or what we call the court, that will be on the show, that will be in the tableau or the pageant. The second segment will actually be still pics of some of those individuals, so you'll get a much better look at these costumes, because that's the key with these balls, especially this particular one, are the magnificent costumes, things that really cost a lot of money to do, labor, time, and expenses and materials. So you'll see the amount of effort that these crews put in to get these balls or tableaus done. Now we're coming up pretty soon, I think, on the end. I wish I could see that time for you folks, but it's going to change to our logo. And again, we're calling our show tonight Royal Revue. We've been calling it Rant Revue because all of our shows that are call-in shows are under Rant Revue. But you'll notice we're going to have a beautiful logo behind you with a purple background. You'll see it in a minute when the television, the network logo goes off. And our logo, there we go. Oh, I wanted to see you. Okay, now you have to see me, of course. I forgot I did it wrong already. But there you go. See, we have our Annie's dressed in formal tux, all ready to go, because that's what these things will be. For the most part, these are black, what we call formal occasions. The men will have a black tuxedo with tie. The ladies will be in full dress. And I'm not talking about the crews. I'm talking about the people who attend. To attend a ball, you have to be invited by a member, and there usually is also a charge and some because of the cost to put these things on. And they will be done now since Katrina. These are all done predominantly at a hotel, different hotels, and holds anywhere from 300 to thousands of people. This group will be about 500, I think, tonight. But before we do that, I want to go ahead and welcome and introduce our co-host, Derek. There he is. Good evening, Derek. How we doing?
Hey, Bob, good evening. You're looking rather festive this evening.
Oh, you noticed. You noticed. Thank you for noticing. Well,
I like the hat.
making fun of the old man, huh? But what this
Yeah,
is,
let me
folks,
know next time so I can grab me one.
well, I've got one from Lane. This is actually a souvenir of this particular group. I never know which way to turn it. This is actually because King Arthur, for those who know the Arthurian legend, um, one thing the king became king by being able to pull the sword, the Excalibur sword, out of a stone. That was one of the myths or one of the legend stories. The other is that he was able to do a lot of the stuff because he had a trusty magician called Merlin, who happens to have a wife named Morgana. How you like that one? And we're going to see those characters tonight in the show. But 2 or 3 years ago, they introduced this as a throw. This is actually Merlin's hat. You follow? It's in blue velvet, and you can see the logos. If I can get down, there's a star, crescent, etc. In fact, last year, or the current one is black. I don't think we have any blue ones left, but I'll get you a black one, Derek. Now, the thing that's
Perfect.
dangling, no problem. The thing that's dangling doesn't come with so if you're lucky enough to get, these are thrown at the parade by the members who bought those as part of their package of things that they're going to throw. It's extra because of the significance of it. But this is where you get them from, actually, on from the streets when you know someone or you're lucky enough to see them dangling and getting it. However, the thing I'm wearing doesn't come with it. This is called a lanyard. Well, for people who know it, everybody knows a lanyard, I think. That's the beautiful ribbon. Notice in our colors of purple, gold, and green for Mardi Gras. But attached to it is something very, very significant, and this is not given to everyone. This is actually a cloisonne medallion. Do you know what cloisonne is? It's a metal that has enamel and it's embossed. A lot of Chinese work has been done in the historical periods in cloisonne. Beautiful work. But what happens here is you have on one side you have the port or the engraving of the king, and the other side is his queen. So it's a wonderful souvenir, but you really got to be actually special to the king and queen. Or I mean, they buy them, but they don't. This is not something thrown out at the parade or even thrown out at the ball. These are hand distributed to those people because of the cost. Because the cloisonne is not cheap. If you've ever bought anything cloisonne, any kind of vase or something like that. Anyway, I'm going to take this off because it's bobbing around and driving me crazy. But I wanted to show you these are things, at least a hat, is something you can get just from attending the parade. Because we always talk about New Orleans parades being so different than the rest. There are thousands, if not millions, if you add up all the parades of throws, all different things, and we'll talk about those details in a little bit, that are given out to the people who attend the parade by just yelling, throwing, catching the attention of any of the riders. Now, King Arthur, the one we're going to see tonight, the ball, not the parade. We didn't have time to show the parade too, because we only deal with an hour. King Arthur was originally founded in I believe it's 1977. So it's been around a long time, but it's not as old as what we call King of Rex or King of Zulus, which started in 1800s. Those are the pioneers of Mardi Gras, as Derek knows all about Zulu, and I'm sure he knows a lot of the others as well.
Gotta love Zulu.
And for those who don't know Zulu, Zulu is basically an African American organization, but it does allow any nationality. However, and this has been kind of the controversial with political correctness and woke and stuff like that, is that you have to be in blackface, and you will wear a tutu made of, what is that, bamboo or straw. Anyway, and so whether you're white, black, Asian, etc., you have to dress alike, and all of the members in the floats dress alike. Okay. The other thing that's so significant, what really started something called the signature throws, which we're going to see some represented tonight of King Arthur, was they invented they didn't invent a coconut. They invented the coconut as a signature throw, where they would paint them, usually black, obviously, and they would put like a white face, the white eyes and a mouth, and then do all kind of other decorations. And these things have been treasured since, I would say, at least back to the 60s. I don't know what, Derek, do you have any more information when the Zulu started giving out coconuts? I don't know. In the very beginning?
I'm going to trust this handy Google to see if we can get an answer.
Okay, yeah, please do that with your handy Google. I'm too old to know about that. Anyway, but the key there is those things have been collected over the years, and I mean they are very collective. They're still giving out new ones every year. The only problem, caution I gave to people is that if you are fortunate enough to get a Zulu coconut, and not real one. Now, there's a lot of reproduction nowadays. They even make plastic ones to entertain the crowd, so they can draw out a lot more. But if you get a real, authentic coconut that's been painted, you want to make sure you look in the back where there's no decoration somewhere and drill a hole in it, and let any of the coconut milk juice drain out. If not, after a period of years, rot is going to set in and eventually totally discolor, if not deteriorate your whole coconut. So if you want to keep it beautiful like you had it, make sure you check it out to see that there's no juice left in the original thing. Okay, we're putting too much attention on
looks like 1910.
Well, that's way almost in the beginning. I don't know the first year of Zulu, but that's got to be close to it. So they've been throwing signature throws long before the other parades. All right, now let's go a little bit more about King Arthur. Before the horrible, our big event in New Orleans, besides becoming New Orleans and some other major things, was the year of 2005, which is a devastating hurricane. Now, we've had several since then that has similar damage, but this one was so devastating to the entire city of New Orleans, from flooding, wind damage, loss of life, loss of property. Because of that, there's been a lot of changes to the Mardi Gras parades predominantly. And the reason being is that most of these parades actually started like in a neighborhood, and they would be named after like maybe the major street in that neighborhood or something associated with that neighborhood. Okay. And even though these parades are still parading, some of them since then, or returned after Katrina, they no longer can parade on their original routes. One is because of the severe devastation we went through, the limitation of the police force for security, and we continue to have that problem. So much so this year with COVID that the parade routes have been shortened. But as of 2005, for the most part, 80 to 85% of the parades have been consolidated to one route, one standard route. And they starting with Uptown, on a street called Napoleon after the emperor, and turning on the well-known St. Charles Avenue, where we have our national landmark streetcar running both ways, all the way from there, which is 44 blocks from downtown, all the way to Canal Street, which has been the signature street that separates the commercial part of New Orleans and the residential part of New Orleans from the French Quarter, where you have commercial and residential, but very well known, as you know. That's where the city started, in the French Quarter, and expanded outward as Americans came and as the population grew. All right, we're giving a lot of history, and perhaps, oh, Bob, I'm so tired of hearing this stuff. You know, I'm a regular. So what we want to do, but anyway, so King Arthur now parades on that same route, and they parade, the parades start, well, there's a parade this weekend, the very first one of the earliest. But starting on February the 11th and the 12th is when they get gang. That particular weekend is what we call the first weekend of Mardi Gras. And there'll be parades Friday night, lots of them Saturday night, Sunday morning, and Sunday evening. So there'll be, and we're talking like 5 parades a day in just that location, let alone some still other locations. So King Arthur will actually parade on the first Sunday morning. It starts, when I say morning, it starts around 12 o'clock, early afternoon. It starts uptown and goes all the way to downtown where it disbands. Okay. All right. So, any other questions you have, Derek, about anything you want to tell before we start showing the 12-minute video and me
Well,
doing my little narration?
I think I'm excited to see this video. I
Uh,
had a friend that told me about the ball, and he said, "Man, I forgot to tell you, but I should have invited you." And I
ain't
missed
that
it.
something, huh?
Yeah, right, exactly. So
Well,
I
I'm gonna
think I
ask.
would have loved to have seen that one.
But next year, after you see this, I think you'll even, I don't want to rub it in more. I think you'll agree more just from the visual beauty. And I will promise you, I'm going to promise you, our friend Lynn, who does all the videography and he rides in 3 parades, he's an outstanding member of King Arthur. So we will definitely, if you want to attend the ball after you see tonight's presentation, and maybe you and your wife, I know you got the children, so I know that'll be difficult to work, but we'll try our best to get you in it. I know he can get it an invitation. I'm almost 100% sure. But let's see. You might have enough and say, I don't want to deal with that. That's too old fogey stuff. Yeah. Anyway.
Let's check it out. Let's see what we got.
Okay. So what we're going to do now, as I mentioned, we're going to bring up a 12-minute video. Now what happens is in the ball itself, everyone lines up at tables, and tables are all assigned to whoever your member is, whoever the rider is. They buy a table for all of their approximately 10 people per circular table. We were fortunate knowing the kings and queens recently, and also we always luckily get a very good table right in the
Now,
front.
here these tables are highly coveted.
Well, they're also yes, they're coveted, and they start with number 1 and go up to hundreds. All right, even though there's 10 at each table. And I know some of my friends who I know who way back were on number like 73, and we
Wow.
were on number 1 and 2, and it was completely at the end of the auditorium or the ballroom. So needless to
So
say, this
where
old
was
folks.
it held? Was it
This
at
one
the
is
convention
yeah.
center?
Thank you for that. Good question. They're held at different hotel ballrooms nowadays. Years ago, before Katrina, we had a central location called the Municipal Auditorium, which, folks, a beautiful building. All the seats were in what we call theatrical mode with regard to elevated, one higher than another. So you always had a perfect view. And this is the disadvantage of today, is that everyone is on the same level in watching it. And depending on how far back you are, they usually have big video screens because you can't see anybody. You can't see any of the pageant. You can see your neighboring tables. But anyway, this one was held at the. Now you see, I'm drawing a blank because I know we're going to Sheridan Hotel this Saturday. Come on, Bob. It'll come to you. What
It'll
is the
come to you.
hotel?
But let me ask you,
Is it
Bob, do you remember the old Hibernia
Bank?
building? I think it was where Harris Casino
Hibernia Bank, Capital One.
was. That it? Where
No,
Harris
that's not.
used to be?
No, Hibernia Bank, folks, is a good that's Irish bank that no longer is basically in existence. It was gobbled up by larger ones. And it was one of the first high rise. Now, we call it high rise in those days. Things above 10 floors was considered. So it was about 30 floors. But what's so significant about it, we'll have to show pictures, is at the top is a giant white, iconic Grecian uh, tabernacle with columns and all, the big deal is no one knows. For years, that was and still is empty, but it's a water tower. That's where they would get water for the building all the way down. And it's so lit up. It's all bathed in white light all during the season, except for the holidays. Right now, there's purple, green, and gold reflecting on that tower, and it can be seen from all over the city. It's right downtown, only about 2 blocks off of Canal Street, that major street. Let me see what I was going to say. Why can't I remember this hotel? It's not the Hilton. Oh, hi. We have a large chain hotel called the Hyatt. The Hyatt is one of the largest hotels in New Orleans. It was built right by our famous Superdome, and I guess you all know where that is. That's how this football and perhaps our last big victory just ended a few weeks ago because of our change of quarterback and also change of coach. But we're not going into that. But attached to the Hyatt is basically like a cross or an X. It's 30 some odd stories high, all glass. Okay, so of course it's tinted glass. And what happened in Katrina, the winds devastated it. It didn't come back for, I would say, 5 to 6 years longer maybe longer, before it was restored because of the significant damage. Now, what it did in the interim was it took a nearby office building, high rise, and created a boutique hotel called the Hyatt House in 7 of the floors.
How
And
do
that's
you
where
remember all of this stuff?
and that's where it's all scripted. It's right here on my poem. No. Uh, anyway, the Hyatt House is where we always stay because it's a boutique hotel. It's only 7 floors and it's connected by an enclosed walkway to the main hotel because the main hotel is where the ballrooms are and all the other rooms. But we like the quiet, the smaller hotel that's associated by Hyatt. So that's where we stayed at the Hyatt. But it was actually the major Hyatt hotel is where the ball took place. Now, and that was Saturday night. From 7 o'clock, this old man went to bed, left around 12-ish. Len and them, they came in about 1, and it was still going. It usually ends between 2 and 3. Okay, it doesn't go all night like some of the others, but still, that's pretty long if you've been there since.
Yeah, that's a serious party right there, my friend.
You can do it. Well, we're going to see a little bit of the dancing in this video. I don't know if we see Lynn or not. They have bands all during the night. From the time the tableau ends, there are live bands. Usually, they always have a local band. Sometimes they'll have a celebrity. Some groups. This group used to have B-grade celebrities like Taylor Dane. I forgot some of the people that were popular back. Belinda Carlisle. I don't know if you know these names.
Now, who performed? Who performed this year?
Well, no, this is because of last year, of course, there were no balls because of the hurricane and COVID. So this is the first year going. So this year they decided not to go back with bringing a celebrity and just had 2 great bands that would play all night long with DJs and also all types of dancing. You'll see the wobble, something you've never heard about, stuff like that. And we'll talk about that if we need to.
I know a little bit about the wobble.
I bet you know a lot about the wobble. Okay. Now, folks, without further ado, let's go ahead. Now, I'm going to be able to talk. I think Derek will too, but since he's not seen this, he probably won't say too much here but I'm going to mention at least the title of each of the people coming out. I won't mention all their names because I don't have all the names, plus it gets too long. But you'll see the different levels of costume and hierarchy in the court structure. So now if I can do it right, let's see if I can bring up which one. All right, let's go. Here we go. You ready, folks? Let's see if we can do it. What do I have to do now? Add to stream. Why is it streaming? Oh, come on. Don't give me trouble. Are you still there, Derek?
Still here.
Good for you. Am I still live? Yes, I hope.
Yeah, you're still
live.
You're still live.
I know, but I don't see the sign saying I'm still live. But the big deal is I hit the wrong button, of course, with my bad eyes. I don't have my friend Lynn here. And I've lost the... Okay, I've got to do one more thing. I got to share. Let's try it again. Okay, we want to share the video. Okay. 1 second. All right, there's the video. Let's see what's going to come up. Come on, people. Oh, there you and I. Ain't that nice? Okay. But where's the video? I'll put you back over here. Where's the video? It's saying for me to wait a second. Let's see if it comes up. If not, why don't we do this? Let's see if I can pull a fast one and we'll skip to the still pictures. Let's see if I can do that. I know I'm doing something wrong and I don't have my trusty person here to help me here with regard to how do I bring these in. This is the first time we've had so many screens to bring up besides usually one of our picks.